Greetings, Moonlight citizens. This is your man on the moon here with yet another episode of Moonlight Kingdom Reviews. Ah, this is going to be a different one, a more serious fare. I'm going to be reviewing a short film. Yeah, not a traditional movie as per se, but this is a short film I found on YouTube known as Two Little Boys. Yeah, so bear with me on this one. This gets pretty heavy in terms of the subject matter and, just everything else. Normally, I try to keep things light and cheery, but for this one out, I'm going to try to keep this as serious as possible so it doesn't come across like I'm trying to make light of what happens in this story. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is Moonlight Kingdom Reviews. I'm your man on the moon. Get ready to blast off in 3, 2, 1. Now, this ain't gonna be a beat for beat retelling of the movie. Like, I will retell certain aspects of it, but largely it's just gonna be like what I saw and what I thought about what I saw. Or like, I'm not gonna cover everything, but yeah, I'm just gonna like right off the bat. The whole time I was watching, like there was just this feeling something bad was gonna happen. Maybe it was the use of music or just how I couldn't quite place it, but like there was just this feeling like some. See, because normally people have this feeling like, man, I feel like something bad was gonna happen because I don't know. We naturally just have that thing in us that we can tell something bad will happen, but this was different. It's just eerie, like something awful was going to happen. Normally in these films, it's just in these types of short films, it's just the story has like a resolution that is somewhat happy, or at the very least, a resolution that is sad. But like there's for, I don't know, for lack of a better term, room for hope that at some point, okay, maybe that this movie was like, maybe not on this day, there is some positivity found, but like someday there will be, there is tragedy, but not to this degree, not to the degree of this film. This film is different. Yeah, that's right away. That's initial thoughts about it. This film is definitely different. Well, there's one moment of like lightheartedness in this entire film, as short as it is. There's like one moment of lightheartedness and like yeah. There's one moment of lightheartedness in this entire film, and that's at the beginning and the middle point of the movie when the film cuts to the 1994 setting, because it like opens with this camcorder tape of like it's a camcorder tape showing this camcorder taping is set in the 90s, and it shows these two boys playing on the swings. It's in those scenes that there's any like semblance of like peace or positivity, like, oh, this is totally innocent, nothing going on here, all kind and sweet. But then everything else in the present day, or at least the present day of 2006, is just this, I don't know, man, there's this I want to say like oppressiveness to it. Like it just, I don't know, there's something's missing, something's been taken, or there's something in the air that just doesn't feel right. Yeah. But yeah, he turns on the camcorder and there's footage of two boys, Josh and Tyler, sitting on swings as little kids. It probably cuts to years later in high school, where Josh is sitting in a change room by himself with a black eye and this crumpled note. So we're dropped in cold. We aren't given the background to like what's going on to like a little later, but like we're just dropped in cold. There isn't a scene showing how he got the black eye or what's the note saying. That's revealed later, but he's just sitting there. So like the positioning of the people in the background when there were still people in the change room, everyone was in the background because the camera was like filming from like his side view, and he was sitting on this bench. Everyone was on the right side of him. The camera was on the left side of him. There was no one in the foreground. It, in a way, it really centered the story and the viewer's perspective on this dude Josh, and everyone else in the background. Like we couldn't hear what they were saying. We couldn't really get a solid look at him because like we weren't supposed to be looking at him. But at the same time, it really shows into like it showcases how he's sitting and how he's like hunched over. Like he's really in this moment. He's in his own head. He's thinking deep about something. He's not paying attention to everyone around him. They're just white noise right up until the point that they're gone. It isn't until that like the place is totally empty that he looks around. Like, damn, there's no one in here. So yeah. When Tyler and his friend Sam come in, he initially tries to run from them, but eventually they catch him. And when they do, they like press him up against the wall. The camera angle at this point is from like this voyeuristic view because it's not right in the action. It's far watching from like around the corner. It's like I don't know. It's instead of like a proper angle, we're seeing something like we would see it, like as if we were peeping tom or like nosing in on it, or it's like it's a wide shot too because it's really to show there's no one else in here. It's just them in this change room. It's just them. Everybody's gone. Like Josh is alone with Tyler and Sam. Like no one to help him, and it's just him and them. This place is totally empty. Like yeah, it's eerie. Just this void view of everything, showing how isolated dude is now that they're here. So yeah, he looks at the message on. So the Tyler is mad at Josh because apparently Tyler got called in the principal's office and he was told that his mom is coming. Like there's a serious issue that needs to be discussed and like his mom's gonna be there, and he's mad. He wants to find out what it is. He knows that Josh had something to do with it. Josh tells him, like I told him you hit me. It's like, no, no. He said my mom is coming here. Like he wouldn't do that for just a black eye. Like okay, stepping away from that, reasonably, if it happens enough times, the school would do that. If you beat on a kid enough times, and then one of those times he winds up with a black eye, the school would at some point call your parents to be like, okay, enough of this. Like clearly, tension is not working out. Okay, like whatever we're doing isn't working. Now we need to call your parents to come in. This is not just a case of we're gonna give you the punishment and then you tell your parents. Now it's we need your parents to come here and then we tell them like, hey, this has been happening. So yeah, that would be. Um, so he gets a message from his mom, and that out of everything in this movie, this kind of made me chuckle when he like pulls out his phone, like his little flip phone. Tyler pulls out a flip phone. It's not even a flip phone like a Samsung E250 or anything. He pulls out a Nokia flip phone that slides up. I'm like, what the? I didn't know that this movie came out. Because I looked at the date this was made, and it said 2021. I'm like, man, no, I'm sorry. This is an anachronism. I'm sorry. No one in 2021 has a flip phone, much less a Nokia. Come on. No way. I actually stopped right at this moment to be like, wait, what? This kid in 2021 has a Nokia? Like, your parents did not buy you that, man. Did you buy that? Like, come on. What is this? I did not realize that until, like, I looked at the date on the thing that, oh, it's supposed to be set in 2006. Okay, that somewhat makes sense. But damn, man. Okay. Um, that's that. Mm. So so Tyler hits Josh, and like after reading the message, he's like, "Fine, I'll come back to you later. I need to go deal with this now. My mother messaged me to come to the office, whatever." As he leaves, Josh says out loud, like why the principal called it, why his mom was the reason his mom was called. We find out the reason is because Josh apparently told the principal that he was assaulted. He told him that he was sexually assaulted by Tyler, and that moment when he hears that once he says that out loud, the tone of everything changed. The whole, because the look on his face just sold that he knew the gravity of that kind of accusation. Like he just knew that, like that, not just the accusation in terms of school, like the in today's world, and even then, back then in the 2000s to an extent, like even if like whether you did it or not, the accusation alone would would seriously, it would tarnish your reputation. If whether you did it or not, it would the accusation alone was enough of. It was worse if you did it. If you did it, you'd be caught and you were found out. But if you didn't, then an accusation alone could seriously tarnish your reputation and what people think about you moving forward, how the world sees you. It could cost you a lot of things. But he wasn't thinking about that in that moment. At least I don't think he was. But it's just there was a gravity in that knowledge that this is why your mother was called. This is why, this is going down. And he just loses it at that moment and he tries to attack Josh, but his friend Sam steps in and tells him, like, wait, he just admitted it. Like, all we need him to do now is admit it on camera and, like, say that he lied. And, everything will be good. You don't have to, like, do anything. You don't have to hurt him. Because in this moment, like, Sam is the kind of the voice of reason in a way. Because, yeah, there's only 3 people in this whole story. Technically, 6 if you count the people in the camcorder videos. But, like, there's only 3 main cast members in this entire story. And there's Josh, who is the victim in a way, the protagonist, and Tyler, an antagonist of sorts. So there would have to be like a middle ground person, a mediator or a voice of reason, and in this case that would be Sam, where he like tells him like, wait, we don't need to do anything to him. He's admitted it. We just need to film him saying it, admitting on tape that he lied, and everything will be okay. We don't have to do anything. So he's given a chance to do that. Like he's given a chance to, like, okay, just look into the camera and say you lied and that's it. But instead he doubles down, and this leads to him getting thrown into the bathroom stall in this near bathroom, and he threatens him, but like he doesn't do anything he doesn't respond to the threats. Instead, Josh gets up, he unfolds the piece of paper he's been holding all this time, and he reads, what he wanted to say to Tyler all these times. The moment he tells him, "You are the love of my life," the camera cuts to a shot focusing solely on Tyler, and it's just this like small dolly zoom, like the whole world just stops spinning. Like the moment he hears that word, "You are the love of my life," as he goes on, it's like they in this moment exist in this bubble outside of time, outside of everything. Forget his mom, forget his principal, forget all that. This in this moment right now is where they are. Nothing else is going on, and it just brought everything to a halt. What he's saying now, as the letter goes on, he talks about how he remembers the first moment he saw him, how they used to play together, but he changed as time went on. He changed, and then he started to hurt him every day. It's like, what happened? Like what caused this change within you? And it's really cool, like powerful thing to say to this, that he would have this note written and he would say this to his face, because this was obviously the plan. The plan was somehow to get him in a position where he could unfold this letter and tell him how he's really been feeling, what he's really been thinking. And he even says during this reading, like, it wasn't supposed to be like this. I had a plan, but it's never explained in the film what the plan fully was. Because so far, the plan was accuse him of assaulting you, read the note, and then I don't know. I question the outcome, man. Was this really how this? I get that he says this wasn't how it was supposed to go, but we never found out how it actually was supposed to go. We never see that, so we just see this, and it's almost in a way. Whenever there's a plan in a movie, like a heist movie, there's usually a segment where the plan goes off the rails and they have to improvise or adapt, and this feels like that in a way, but not in a purposeful manner. He didn't choose to change his plan this way. It's almost like he was forced to, but I don't, I don't want to, because what happens next is this gets really. I'm gonna be upfront with you. This is not for the faint of heart. This is really hard to watch. Just this short as it is it's a tough watch, man. Just throughout there was this whole feeling of uneasiness that something awful is going to happen. Cause just once he says these things and how much he loves him and how much this is how it used to be and how it wasn't supposed to be like this, he won't stop. Like Tyler actually tries to cover his mouth and make him stop talking, but he won't. He just kept reading the note out loud. So he grabs this wrap and he wraps it around his mouth to stop him from talking. And in that moment, once he's wrapped his mouth and like wrapped his bit of his face over, the look on his face, it's just he's underneath all that plastic wrap. He's almost unrecognizable. It's unsettling. Like it's I don't know. He looks it's like something out of a horror movie. He looks like a dead body that's been wrapped in wrap, like saran wrap or something. Like I don't know. It just looks really. His visage is just like warped, like distorted. Like when he puts that bag on, he's like it's not. He's not like he's not. I can't quite explain it. It's just really hard to look at, and it's terrifying in a way. It's like something out of a horror movie. Like this isn't a drama anymore. Like this is this is going bad really fast. But yeah, so he puts the the wrap on him, and he tells him nod, and he'll stop all this. Like just nod, admit that he never assaulted him, and he'll take the bag off. But instead, Tyler, no, instead Josh refuses, and he stands there, even though like the wrap is completely covering his head, and there's no way he can breathe. He just stands there at the which and the point where it gets to the point where Tyler is like looking him right in the eye, and he's actually looks at him like, please, man, like say you'll do it, just just say you'll do this so I can take this wrap off, because as much as he wants the guy to say it, and as much as he wants to punish him for what he did, he doesn't want him to die. I mean, as angry as he is, as violent as he's being, you have to you gather on some level that he really doesn't want to be doing this. It's just something he feels he has to do. Cause I don't know, that's just how I don't I can't quite explain it. Like there is this he's able to convey like I don't want to be doing this, but I feel like I have to, because it's the only way you'll I can somehow undo what you've done and just salvage somewhat of what I was before this accusation. Because I can't just like he can't just let this go, but at the same time he can't go through with killing someone. But yeah, he's not. Once he gets the idea that he's not gonna quit, he's like, take the wrap off. He tries to take the wrap off, and for a second, he looks like he actually. For a second, it seems like okay, like they're gonna take the wrap off. It's gonna stop all this, but then Tyler, oh wait, Josh just runs into this Nick stall. Once they like take the wrap off, they let him go for a second to take the wrap off, and he just runs into the stall. He locks himself in there, and this ending was bleak. This was bleak, cause See, in his letter, Josh would talked about the games they used to play, and he remembers back to the first time he saw Tyler, and the whole like just uh, he it ends. This film ends with showing the ending of the camcorder footage. I mean, after the ending, man, like I don't really want to talk about that ending. And he locks himself in the stall with the plastic wrap on his head, and Tyler's trying to get inside, and just after that, at the film's end, it shows the rest of the camcorder footage. Because the beginning of the film, we saw the beginning of the footage where it's two kids playing on the swings. At the midpoint of the movie, one of the kids stands up and walks over to the other kid, holds his hand. And at the end of the film, we get the end of the camcorder footage, which shows that, the boy on the left was Tyler. He walked over and he kissed Josh, which led to Tyler's mom running over. Like, she yelled at him, she hit him, and she condemned him for kissing a boy. And that's when the film cuts to black. And when it cuts to black, we can still hear Tyler, like young Tyler, crying as the film goes into credits. And it's just this. I'll give props. This movie was really well made, really well made. Even though it's a short film, you'd swear it was a proper feature length indie film or something, with the level of character and world building and like the way the cameras were set up and the acting on par. I mean, there are thrillers and horror movies that didn't have me on edge quite like this film did. The acting, the camera work, even the sounds. Like, there's just the sound when you don't even see the rap coming out of the bag, but you can hear it. There are you don't. I mean, there was a moment in the stall when all we could see was Tyler focusing on his phone, think responding to his mother, and we saw Josh standing up, and we didn't see him get the note, but we could hear the paper uncrinkling. We could hear the paper crinkling, which let us know like how he was getting the note out of his bag. And the moment when Tyler was trying to save Josh and he slipped, there was this smacking noise. When his head hit the ground, there was this noise, and it was just like, ooh, it just, you felt it almost, that noise. I mean, you saw it happen, but that noise just added to it to the point like you almost felt it happen too, like the sickening sound effect of like head hitting concrete. But yeah, everything going. This film has everything going for it, and it really, like, everything that was in this film really played to its strengths. It's set up, and it had a beginning, middle, and an end. It just, it's a lot of, that's something most movies don't have now, and it made you give a shit in the short runtime that it had, and there's not much else I can say. That's this movie is how it's a hard watch. I'll give it that. It's a good movie, but it's a hard watch. It's definitely hard to sit through on more than one viewing. But yeah, it was a good film. Definitely a 9 out of 10. I would definitely give this film a 9 out of 10. Just the acting, the story, and apparently it's based on a true story. And normally when you get a based on a true story movie, they'll change certain elements to, I don't know, make it more appealing to audiences or to give the story a happier ending. But there's in real life, sometimes there is no happier ending. In this film, like, there isn't one to be found here either. The ending scene with Tyler being hit by his mom and condemned for like kissing a boy, it sort of it sort of explained in a way how, like, well, not how, but why all of a sudden, like in the note, Josh mentioned that they used to play games. They used to be he loved him ever since he first saw him, and then he changed. It goes some way to explain why he changed, like the influence of his mother and her, and that condemnation of him kissing young Josh, yet would drive him to change his behavior and react negatively to Josh in like from that point on. So yeah, but that's not like it's not that's what I extrapolate from. I'm not saying that's what happened, but like that's what I managed to get from it. Anyway, this has been the Moonlight Kingdom review of the YouTube short film Two Little Boys. It was directed by I hope I'm getting this right, Farhad Kostanat. Yeah, I hope I get that right. Link in the description below if you want to see it. It's a good watch. It's a good movie. I liked it, but I don't want to see it again. It's just there are those movies where you enjoy them, but you don't want to. You're good after seeing them one time only. You don't want to revisit that. But yeah. Anyway, this has been Moonlight Kingdom Reviews. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, the whole nine, and yeah. If there's not much else I can say. So if you or anyone you know is victim of abuse or any kind, physical, mental, or emotional, just there are people you can call. There's organizations you can talk to. One such organization that I've heard about is called RAIN. You can definitely look into that. And there's just know that you don't always have to deal with abuse by yourself. If it's happening in a school setting, you can talk to a teacher. You can talk to a principal. If it's happening at home, one can always talk to a family member, or a neighbor, or police, and so on. It's just you don't have to always handle these complex emotions and feelings and deal with negativity in your life or abuse or assault by yourself. Just yeah, that's all. That's the end of my. That's all I can say for now. Yeah. As always, folks, this has been Moonlight Kingdom Reviews. You have a good day. Stay safe out there. Goodbye.
I don't know what's ahead of me. I work so hard for everything. Don't wanna lose my time or my mind on the grind, but I want a better life for me. I do the things I hate to do, just to try to find my way to you. I see you in my mind all the time, visualize, and I hope that I can make it through.